want to fight any longer.
All right, very good morning to you, and thanks for joining us again on the program this morning on ITV. Wednesday's edition. Yes, you're welcome to the program, the 5th day of August 2026. My name is Evan Sunukuge, always not alone on this show. My co-anchors, Wilson Omasho is right here with me in Benin. Wilson, good morning.
Yeah, Evans, finally I can boldly say that we are approaching August break. August break, something rains. It has receded a little bit.
I don't know, what's the big deal with this August break? 2 weeks ago, you said that we already experienced August break, and the rain came down heavily. You know, I think we need to, this is about the second day now. Yeah. I mean, after Sunday's episode of that heavy rain and the rain that came down on Sunday. So let's keep our patience and see how it goes.
Take it easy.
You know, something, nature is something that you cannot really predict. So the only thing you do is to try to, you watch nature, you study it, and you see how it can be in your favor.
You have to walk around it.
Yeah, and also you try as much as possible not to affect nature, because if you do, nature will rebound, it will rebound back on you. I mean, imagine those persons that have been driven away from their houses as a result of flood, because these same persons, some of them, I should say, are also responsible for you know, what happened to them. I mean, imagine a situation whereby the gutters around your abode, you know, you don't keep them off debris and all.
Going back again this August break.
Anyway, we have our co-anchors in Lagos and also in Abuja, so when we're on with them, you get to see them on the program. All right, so we've got beautiful Mercy Lena. Now, Mercy, what's up with this red thing? I mean, Wilson is... Mercy, good morning.
Beautiful morning to you, Evans. Good morning, Wilson. I mean, we are twinning, or should I say yourself and Wilson, you guys are twinning this morning. It's a beautiful day in Lagos, and like Wilson said earlier, August break is approaching, and I mean, it's been raining, even though I like cold weather, but at the same time, you know, sometimes the rain disrupts a lot of things, but I mean, August break, according to Wilson, is close, so we are a bit excited. Well, from Lagos today, I mean, there is a lot to talk about from Lagos today. We are talking about the Osun governorship election. Adeleke's camp demands police neutrality. Even though we saw a video yesterday, we saw a video where I'm going to be talking much about the video on TMI socials, where Adeleke says, "I am the chief security officer of Osun State, and I am passing this message to you." He's referring to Tinubu that Osun will not accept any rigging. If anybody's tried to do otherwise, the political crisis of 1983, when some people tried to rig Michael Adjacent out of power in Ondo State, may repeat itself again, you know. And that particular video has been trending. Like I said, I'll talk more on it on TMI socials, but we're going to be talking more on the Osun election. We know that the election is on the 15th of this month, and there's been campaign here and there, the APC candidates and the incumbent governor and all of that. So we'll be having a political analyst that would help us talk on that today.
All right, so beautiful time on television, and of course that's what we do right here on the program this morning on ITV, where we'll let you follow the discussions as the break in the nation. We're in Benin before Abuja comes on board. In Benin, we're going to be looking at two key issues. First and foremost, we'll talk about the criticism that the president gave to governors recently, that rather than embarking on flyovers and bridges, that the governors should embark on roads that we kind of you know, have a way of having meaningful meaningness, so to say, on the citizens of the country. I mean, in terms of battling insecurity and all that and all that. But I think that's beginning to have some reactions now, because that seems to be contradictory. I mean, we're talking about flyovers and bridges. They also impact positively on the people.
Well, the thing is that I love what the president said. You know, he was so how would I put it, intention about his word is, well, he was so straight to the point, because, you know, he sees almost everything. The government report back to him, that is what we want to do, because he said, look, if we give you this amount of money, you have to let us know what you are doing with it. Maybe somehow he just got to realize that almost every government in the federation talk about flyovers, bridges, and they realize that some of the roads in these states are not motorable. They're impossible, and that is now pitting his own government in bad light. So who would want to react? Instead, you can only do flyover or construct flyover if it is absolutely necessary. Underline absolutely necessary, because a governor of one state, a governor of the state right now, considering a flyover, within months the thing collapsed. So tell me, if it's Mr. President, how will you feel about it? And some of the roads in that state are deplorable. You understand it? Yes, thank God for Okpebholo. Yes, the flyover in Benin City, okay, fine, is to decongest, you know, the gridlock. That is quite understandable. What about other roads in Benin City? Because to construct a flyover, do you know how much it costs? A flyover can comfortably give you close to 3 to 4 roads.
Yeah.
So he said, no, forget about this flyover thing, focus on the roads, make it possible, because any little thing, but I'm not about administration, we don't know what you're doing, look at bad roads, look at this, and look at it. Someone saying that it's because of politics, when everything is intertwined, you know, you just can't separate it from 2027. That's what I say. So it's like everything is just there.
All right, we're going to be talking about that on our program today. Let's look at the issues around that criticism. Then secondly, Edo State's governor was in UK recently, and we understand that it's somehow back. So we're going to be having the essay on media projects and communications strategy to the Edo State government. Let's, you know, it's like your daddy went on a trip. Then you need to ask, you need to bring the bag out. Then
Daddy, welcome. Welcome back to the state.
So we intend to do some discussions on that on the program today, this morning on ITV. All right, so when Abuja comes on board, we get to see them, so that we also get to know what they are going to be talking about today on the program this morning on ITV. All right, so let's take a pause now.
Yeah,
we'll take a pause so that the corporate trainer, you know,
I like that word, corporate.
Yeah, it prepares you for your day. You know, one thing I like about what he says is that if really you listen to Inwagata Nusakai, you can apply all that he says to every facet of your life. I mean, you know, you don't necessarily to be a businessman. You don't necessarily have to be a student. Just listen and pick out the content.
Some will just say some of them just happen in an ideal environment. Not an environment in Nigeria. Anyway, the corporate trainer is here. Let's get to hear from him this morning.
All right.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The Ugewe is the final ceremony of the series of festivals. It is one of peace and lightheartedness, following the more solemn of the ritual year. Ugewe is the festival of the Ewe leaves, a symbol of good luck and joy. It is the most popular of all that heralds the dawn of a Benin New Year, new vow, newness of life and freshness of life, and a new hope for the future. In the evening, the Ewe leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style in a colorful ceremony. The Ihogbe Society, amidst singing and dancing, bring the sacred leaves that symbolize good luck.
Inwayata no Sahai is my amiable name, and I'm so delighted to come your way one more time. This very first Wednesday of the month of August 2026, and we have been on our series, which is the topic, different leadership styles and their impact on workplace dynamics. And this morning, we are focused on, that is actually what we have been doing since the last 3 weeks. We have been focusing on the police institution, how different leadership styles can be applied by this leadership, the leadership of the police institution, and then be able to drive effectiveness and productivity in that institution. And this morning, the case scenario we are going to use for this conversation is how a police commissioner applied the pace setting and coaching leadership styles to address a disturbing security situation. How a police commissioner applied the pace setting and coaching leadership styles to address a disturbing security situation. Now, in the school of leadership, the pace setting leadership style is that leadership style where the leader sets a standard, he sets an expectation, and he exemplifies that standard. He exemplifies that expectation. In other words, the summary of the pace setting leadership style is an exemplary leadership template or model. The leader tells you, this is what I want, this is what I want you to do, and then he exemplifies it. That is very important in driving effective leadership. Then the coaching leadership style is about developing people for the future. It's about guiding people. It's about mentoring, your team members for them to be effective and productive. And this case scenario this morning says how a police commissioner applied the pace setting and coaching leadership styles to address a disturbing security situation. Let me go straight into the case scenario. It goes, after serving for 2 years as a commissioner of police in a Nigerian state, the commissioner had earned a reputation for professionalism and operational excellence. However, the state suddenly experienced a disturbing rise in coordinated kidnappings, armed robberies, and attacks on isolated communities. Although officers were committed, the growing sophistication of criminal groups exposed gaps in intelligence gathering, rapid response, and interdivisional coordination. So we have just recognized the statement of problem. This is a situation the state has been facing. The commissioner has spent 2 years in that particular state, the commissioner of police, and now this is a situation. What the commissioner of police is going to do as we dive deeper into the case scenario is engaging the pace-setting leadership style, and then also transition into the coaching leadership style, because in leadership there is no one size fits all. You need to know when to apply a particular leadership style and then transition to another, and probably come back to that one as time situation changes, and be able to just make sure that things are working in fluid collaboration. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, the commissioner first adopted the pace-setting leadership style. Remember, the pace-setting leadership style is a leadership style where you set a standard as a leader and then you exemplify it. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, the commissioner first adopted the pace-setting leadership style by personally demonstrating the level of commitment and professionalism expected from every officer. That is the pace-setting leadership style. The commissioner right now is being a pace-setting leader. He is setting the pace This is what I want. I want professionalism. I want standard operation or operating procedure, and then he exemplified it. The commissioner attended operational briefings punctually, participated in strategic planning sessions, visited frontline formations regularly, and insisted on timely intelligence report and rapid deployment to security incident. High performance standards were clearly communicated, while divisional commanders were expected to meet measurable operational targets. This renewed focus improved discipline and strengthened operational coordination and significantly reduced response time across the state. Now, he has just established the pace-setting leadership style, set standard, and then exemplify these standards so that, he could, be able to model what he wants the people to mirror back to him. Now, while noticeable progress was made, the commissioner realized that sustaining success required developing future leaders rather than relying solely on high performance expectations, bringing in the coaching leadership style into the equation. The commissioner therefore introduced the coaching leadership style by mentoring area commanders, divisional police officers, and other supervisors. Regular review sessions were organized to analyze completed operations, identify lessons learned, and improve decision making. Experienced officers were encouraged to mentor younger personnel, while promising officers were assigned greater responsibility under close guidance. Constructive feedback, leadership development, and continuous learning became integral parts of the command's operational culture. Very important. He has applied the pace-setting leadership style, then he brought in the coaching leadership style. Within a few months, intelligence gathering improved, collaboration among formations became stronger, and operational planning became more proactive. Officers displayed greater confidence in handling complex security challenges, while public confidence increased as policing became more responsive and coordinated. By combining high performance expectations with deliberate leadership development, look at that line, very critical. It said by combining high performance expectations, which is the pace-setting leadership style, with deliberate leadership development, the coaching style, the commissioner not only restored security, but also built a stronger and more capable police command prepared to respond effectively to future threats. That is applying, the pace-setting leadership style, which the commissioner of police in this state, in this particular case scenario, exemplified what he wanted from his officers. And then also along the line, he also understood that it is not just all about setting high performance standards and expectations. You need to be, to develop your people, build their capacity to be able to do what you expect from them. And that is what leadership is all about. Let's go into two key leadership lessons we can glean from this case scenario as I conclude. Number one leadership lesson from here. Leaders achieve lasting results by combining high performance standards with deliberate investment in people. I will take that again. Leaders achieve lasting results by combining high performance standards with deliberate investment in people. And this is what is seriously lacking in the African culture, the African environment or Nigerian environment, whereby leaders, owners of businesses, owners of organizations don't spend time to build the capacity or invest in their people. A very critical responsibility of leadership is capacity building, coaching them, mentoring them, guiding them. This is very important. You have expectations you want them to, bring to the table. You have things you want them to do for you. In addition to that, if you want that expectations to be met, you need to train them. It is said that if you don't train them, don't blame them. So I will take that line again. Leaders achieve lasting results by combining high performance standards with deliberate investment in people. While pace-setting leadership drives excellence, coaching leadership develops competent and confident future leaders. Very important. Remember, pace-setting leadership is about setting high standards and then you exemplify it as a leader. Coaching leadership is about building and developing the people to be able to deliver on expectations. This is very key. Then secondly, the second leadership lesson we are gleaning from this case scenario. Sustainable organizational success depends on building leadership capacity at every level. Senior police officers and leaders across Nigeria and Africa should not only pursue immediate results, but also mentor and empower others to sustain excellence beyond their own tenure. Leadership, from the posterity perspective, not just I'm able to achieve results in my tenure, and then when you leave, the old car, pack of cars will just drop down. You should be able to create a culture that will ensure that even when you are no longer in the picture, the system is still running, even on autopilot. I believe that profound value have been added to you today. Remember the case scenario we just discussed this morning is how a police commissioner applied the pace setting and coaching leadership styles to address a disturbing security situation. I'll be seeing you next week, Wednesday. And when I return, my name will remain the amiable Inuagata No Sahai. Your day is so blessed. Thank you.
Thanks for rejoining on TMI this beautiful morning on ITV. I am Marcelina. We'll be reviewing the papers this morning, the front pages of the papers. The first paper we'll be looking at is the paper where the big headline on the Guardian newspaper says 57 state varsities, others in limbo over selective implementation. You get that on page 6, 40% salary increase agreement. You get that on page 6 on the Guardian newspaper. Wike defends Tinubu's reforms, dismisses Obi Atiku's ambition. That is on page 3 on the Guardian newspaper. PFIPC contractor tells reps he was scammed by Adeyemi after paying 400 million naira. You get that on page 3 on the Guardian papers. Tinubu unveils major military welfare package, 80% pay rise for soldiers. You get that on page 3 on the papers. Police shots Abuja Stadium over security threats. You get that on page 30 on the papers. While also on page 30, 21 feared dead, 37 abducted as bandits raid Sokoto Plateau communities. You get that on page 30 on the papers. ADC relax Showore fault state police bill process over transparency timing. You get that on page 6 on the papers. Another headline there says WAFCON, federal government uncapped $100,000 promises rocks Super Falcons camp. You get that too also on the papers. Okay, these are the headlines on the front pages on the Guardian's newspaper. Do well to grab a copy and go through them. Still on the papers review, let's take a look at the Daily Sun papers, where one of the headlines on the Daily Sun paper says Tinubu okays 80% military pay rise, 924 billion naira payroll starts September 1st. And that is a good one. You get that on page 26 on the Daily Sun papers. Another headline there says CBN promotes alternative payment channels to deepen financial inclusion. That is on page 25 on the Daily Sun papers. While the big headline there says Anglican primate backs Oyanikon. You get that on page 6. A writer says claims politicians exploiting poverty, hunger to recruit youth for election violence. Another writer says Cardinals spokes out of concerns for Nigeria, not malice for Tinubu. Another writer says he spoke truth about Nigerians' hardship. Insecurity, says Arewa youth. You get that on page 6 on the Daily Sun newspaper. Still on the papers, federal government bids 90,000 kilometer fiber rollout, targets a nationwide broadband access. You get that on page 30. A writer says Minister says Nigeria to launch unique alphanumerical postcode system October 1st. Another headline there says Amechi has no electoral values in Rivers. Only Tinubu can win state in 2027. That is coming from Wiki. You get that on page 26 on the papers. Court dismisses NDC's suit seeking to void sections of Electoral Act. You get that on page 26 on the papers. Otedola eyes 51% stake at First Old Co. You get that on page 25 on the papers. Do well to grab a copy and go through the Daily Sun papers this morning. Let's take a look at the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard newspaper, the big headline there says Wike Northern youths at war over Onaikon. You get that also on the papers on page 5. Another headline that says Delta unveils roadmap to unlock 3,000 MW potentials. Get that on page 10. And the writer says define your vision. Investors will follow. IFC tells government. You get that on page 10 on the papers. Tinubu approves pay rise for 250,000 armed forces personnel. You get that on page 8 on the papers. I walked away from power rather than compromise my integrity. Ebura Jolo. You get that on page 12 on the Vanguard newspaper. While still on the papers, another headline says RAPS committee to interrogate alleged PFIPC DG at undisclosed location and date. A writer says a businessman explained how he paid 400 million naira for contact. That is on page 26. While on page 8, Otedola eyes over 50% stake in First Old Co. Get that on page 8. Says he has invested over 600 billion naira in a bank. You get that on page 8. Nigeria to lose over 50% of UK aid as US-Europe/foreign assistance. You get that on page 9 on the paper. Still on the Vanguard newspaper. 21 feared dead, 37 abducted as terrorists attack Sokoto community. That is a sad one. You get that on page 6 on the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, moving on, let's take a look at the Daily Trust paper, where the big headline on the Daily Trust paper says many feared dead as gunmen attack Sokoto again. This is really sad one. That is on insecurity. And also Tinubu raises salaries of armed forces personnel. Okay, we talked about that before. You can still get that on page 6 on the Daily Trust papers. Phantom Council, we will squeeze Adeyemi privately, reps Pane. You will get that on page 6 on the paper. Okay, still on the newspaper. Why Kano Assembly suspended 3 council chairmen. You also get that on the paper. Flood kills security personnel, teenager in Yobe. You get that on the Daily Trust paper this morning. Another headline that says published bad road built under Oyetola Osun government. You get that on page 25 on the Daily Trust papers this morning. Okay, let's take a look at the Punch newspaper. This will be the last paper we'll be taking for this morning, where one of the headlines on the Punch paper says, fake agency probe, raps to grill controversial DG at undisclosed location. On page 2, you get that. Doctors suspend strike as presidency brokers trust. You get that on page 29 on the papers. Federal government votes 2.5 trillion naira for Abuja, Lokoja, Enugu, PH 122 roads. You get that on page 19 on the papers this morning. And the big headline there still remains military salaries hit 924 billion naira as Tinubu approves pay rise. That is on page 2. 250,000 military personnel to enjoy 30% to 80% salary increase. Another rider says retired general backs Tinubu's military pay upgrades, demand model weapons, while another rider says we will continue to prioritize troop welfare and modernize the armed forces. President. Okay, the last one, 2027, ADC fires back at Wike's dismisses Amaechi's river influence. You get that on page 7 on the paper. Robbers shoots a LASU graduate during attack on POS operator. You get that on page 4 and on page 5 on the papers. This is all we'll be able to take on the papers review this beautiful morning. We are still on CMI. Just stay with us. I am Marcelina Unko. We'll be handing over to Benin, to our Benin studio for the continuation on CMI.
Benin Cultural Dance, a unique dance and quality dance steps of the Benin people. This dance is a vibrant mix of traditions, arts and beliefs, deeply rooted in the country's diverse ethnic groups and their rich history. The dance has artistic expressions depicting the people's history. Benin people have been famous for bronze and brass work, some of which is said to date back from the 13th century, especially ivory and wood carving. In Benin, the people dance to show respect, honor, dignity, which they honor. They dance to show royalty, as natives are seen in their numbers around their body depicting the symbol of kingship.
The threat of global warming is real. You have seen the destruction of lives and property as a result of incessant flooding. Make the environment a conducive place for all to live in. Stop polluting the environment. Protect the environment today. This message is brought to you courtesy Independent Television and Radio.
All right, thank you so much. The program still on your television this morning on ITV. We kick off here from Benin and on our first discussion this morning. And we've got two topics that we're going to be looking at. First and foremost, we'll look at the criticism that the president has given to governors in the country on flyovers and bridges. Then also, we'll also talk about the governor's trip to the UK. We're talking about the governor of Edo State, Senator Modo Okpebholo, who was in the UK recently. Now, we have two guests this morning, and they are joining us virtually. First and foremost, let us welcome Mr. Godswill Enegbe, who is the SA on media communication strategy to the Edo State governor. Mr. Godswill, a very good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, you're welcome. Then also we have another guest on the program this morning. Yes, he's also joining us virtually, and let's see now. He's by name Aleboro. Yes, Comrade Fred Aleboro, who is an affairs analyst and is joining us virtually. Mr. Aleboro, you're welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay. All right, so let me start with Mr. Godswill Enegbe. I have my co-anchor here. What's the vice? Go ahead, take the first shot. All right, now, so let me go to Mr. Godswill Enegbe. Now, I mean, recently we saw whereby the criticism that the president gave to the state governors, not being specific now, talking about state governors in the country, you know, trying to tell them that rather than focus on bridges and flyovers, that they should focus their attention on other road network that we, impact on the lives of the citizenry in this state. Now, the reason why I decided, or that we decided to bring you into the program today, is that a lot of persons, probably are insinuating that the president is talking to the governor of Edo State, Senator Modo Okpebholo. I mean, looking at the bridges and the flyovers that he's doing in the state. Now, how does this statement, this criticism, how does it, probably resonate to the to you as a person and maybe to the Edo State government?
Important that people listen to statements made by individual and get the content rightly rather than misquoting the person. It's not just only in this case, but in several cases. If you listen to Mr. President, what he actually said, he wasn't criticizing the governors in the country. Mr. President only advised. He was actually advising the governors in the country that they should prioritize projects. That in a situation that any governor wants to build a flyover, such governor should ensure that it is a place where you have numeric traffic so that such flyover will be viable for the people. It is where you have human traffic congestion that such flyover is viable for the people. So Mr. President was saying in a sense that in a situation where you build a flyover when there are no traffic in such routes, that the project is not viable to the people, and such funds should be directed to construction of roads that will have direct positive impacts in the lives of the people. So it wasn't criticism. And sometimes, with all due respect to our journalists and our reporters, it's good that they don't misquote people when they make statements. So, having said that, having laid that basis of the president's advice, coming to Edo State, everybody knows that where the flyover are located in Edo State, they are the hearts of traffic congestion in Benin. Take, for instance, Rama Park Axis. Everyone that lives in Benin, that is familiar with Benin City, we know that Rama Park Axis is the heart of traffic congestion, especially the days that we're having the Gubahi markets. That place is it's always totally locked down. And that alone affects the economy of the state. Of course, people who always traveled using that as because that is the major route to travel outside Benin. And at the end of the day, most people are frustrated because of that traffic. So that's
All right, so we'll get back to Mr. Gosling. Now, let's listen.
All right, let's get to hear from Comrade Fred. Fred, are you there? Before we have that particular, how will I put it, interference via network, you heard what yes, Enegbe talked about. He said the journalists should be more careful and all that, but someone just feel that there's a thin line between criticism and, of course, advice. But Mr. President, we give such an advice that has been getting the infos that so many governors are embarking on flyovers and bridges when so many roads in their states are impassable. Comrade Fred, now what do you have to say about this? Are you there? We're having some network issues.
We're having, listen, you see, for the statements now, and of course, how to analyze it now. When statements like this are made, people begin to imagine all sort of things. I mean, we have a city president who is from a particular party. Okay, Mr. Goswell, if you're back, can you continue?
Thank you so much. Just as I was saying, that the flyover that Governor Kwewolo is doing at those states, so it's good that before the Ramat Park, everybody knows how, when it comes to traffic jam, how that happens. It's always, anytime, especially the Gubahi market is being, anytime you have the Gubahi market. Then the second flyover, look at the location again, which is the Sapile Road at Desuwa Junction axis. That is another spot, another location that for motorists, travelers, and business people and traders in Edo State, that particular spot is always a nightmare in terms of traffic jam. And because of the Mr. Governor's intervention of building a flyover today, now you can see how that place has been opened up for traffic flow. And every person that is concerned with these areas, there is no person that will drive through those houses today that will not pray for Mr. Governor for what he did. So for us in Edo State, these flyovers, they are strategic. These flyovers, they are people-centered. They are people-oriented. They are infrastructures that are being prioritized because it affects the lives of the people in Edo State directly. And so that was exactly Mr. President's advice, that any governor that wants to build a flyover, you must ensure it is a location where you have numeric traffic so that such flyover will be impactful to the lives of the people in that state. And any governor that builds flyover in a place that does not have traffic jam, such flyover or funds used ought to be redirected in constructing roads that will have direct impact in the lives of the people. So it's only those who does not, the few ones, the remnants of the opposition parties that don't always appreciate good things, that will want to feed and misinterpret Mr. President's genuine advice. And I've always said that in Nigeria, of course, it's especially the social media, this is one of the challenges we have in the part of the world, that when a statement is made, there are people there who want to always misinterpret and misrepresent such statements in order to achieve their own selfish aim. But in these very circumstances, as it relates to Edo State, Mr. Governor has done well in terms of this project, their legacy project that will outlive his administration, that children are born we'll be happy to see, and they are projects that have direct impact in the lives of the Edo people.
All right, Godwin, thank you so much. Let's get to see if Comrade Fred is in. Okay, fine, nothing. Now, this question goes to you. Before you anchored, you made mention of legacy projects. Now, do you know that in a particular state, I've forgotten the exact state, is between the western, southwest, or well, let's say northern region, where a flyover was constructed, and within months, it collapsed. And some governors, according to reports, are like focusing on a particular term you use, legacy projects. What will I be remembered for rather than taking a look at the roads surrounding the flyovers or the deplorable road conditions, so to speak, in some of the states? I don't think that might just be the reason why Mr. President gave that admonition, criticism. Comrade Fred.
Thank you so much, my comrade and my dear brother. Okay, sorry.
Okay, thank you, my brothers on the studio. I want to say that the particular matter of Edo State Governor Modu Okpebholo, is demonstrating a dual approach in governance, delivering infrastructure at home and why even engaging internationally. Then, with reference to the Ramat Park project, this has already shown capacity. When you do not solve a problem at a point that is very, very crucial. Personally, prior to this period, I have avoided Rama Park, because if I have to meet up with an appointment, I'm passing through the Rama Park. For example, I'm coming to the studio. Of course, I will be late. But what it is now, what the governor has done, is to first and foremost solve the problem of congestion at the Rama Park. A responsible governor would do what exactly Governor Modu Okpebholo is doing. Yes, you may say that there are some other roads around that location that are in deplorable condition. I also agree. But when you solve the central problem, those roads, when you are now constructing them, it will be easy for everyone. Governor Okpebholo in Nigeria right now, let me tell you, the advice that His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave, actually, it was not for Okpebholo. It was for other governors. When you say, "Una good morning," the people that are being greeted will understand who the greetings are meant for. Governor Okpebholo, before his administration, I want us to look at on Ekpoma corridor, Ekpoma Aziz, Ekpoma to Benin. You could spend like 3 days between Ekpoma and Benin. But today, when I was going to Benin yesterday, from Ekpoma to Benin, it was just 40 minutes. What cost me a little bit of traffic before I got to ITV was because of the internal issues in Benin. Problems of road infrastructure cannot be optimally solved once and for all, but gradually hitting the nitty-gritty to the board is what Okpebholo has done. So when people are having misconception, having misunderstanding, President Tinubu was not talking to Okpebholo, because Okpebholo is, even the blind can see that he has figured out the critical area of infrastructure, which is roads and infrastructure. The Rama Park was a thing that came after. He started critical infrastructure, and that's what he's still doing. So we should not mistake busy with activity. Activity of His Excellency on road infrastructure is a top notch. Go to everywhere around the state, even federal roads. You all can attest that the governor is ensuring that even the federal road, even when we are crying that roads are bad, is on top of the situation. Unlike the Onwa Aziz right now, the governor has also approved the construction of that, waiting for dry season right now for that road construction to start. So flyover is the right thing that a responsible government would have done, which they haven't done, which the governor have done right now. Successive administration failed to do it. When I got to Rama Park the other day, I thought I was in Abuja. But when I looked again, I discovered that the signposts around here are Benin. You know, and this is a thing that is that should be applauded. I will speak on the trip to London in the recent time.
That'll be subsequently. You have to calm down, okay? We are still on this very issue, all right? When we change topic, definitely you're going to share your own views on it, Evans.
All right, now, so let's go back to Godswill Enegbe. Now, Mr. Godswill Enegbe, I hope you're still with us.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, now, you see, the issue at hand here, it's more or less a controversial issue because you may have elucidated on what the president means. But for critics also that tend to look at issues, they have a backdrop of history that they are coming from. Remember, this same president once upon a time also reacted to the Honorable Minister of the FCT, now Nyesom Wike, at a time when it came to construction of roads and all that. Now, he even told Nyesom Wike that Nyesom Wike should not expect him to be reimbursed. Then also, after that, we saw a situation whereby the president actually gave an order that any governor that embarks on a federal road should not do that alone. He should ensure that he works with the Federal Ministry of Works, so to say. Now, one of the roads in Benin City and in Edo State that the present governor is on, that we're talking about now, the Ramat Park area, it is a federal road. Now, the question we're asking here is the governor doing that with the Federal Ministry of Works as ordered by the president? Then, of course, the president has also said that governors should not expect reimbursements for federal roads done. But oftentimes we've heard we have even a report to that effect when the governor said that he went to one of those roads and pointed, and our camera caught the governor and pointed at the road that all this are done because of the president makes it possible. In other words, the president reimburses him to do this road. So how do we marry all these issues together?
You see, Governor Pebolo is a governor that has a human feeling. He has always maintained that the mandate given to him by the two people was for him to come and serve their interests and not his selfish interest. Governor Pebolo understood that service is where you make impact in the lives of the people. That is the reason why, if you recall, the previous administration, instead of intervening of these federal roads, which are used, majority of the people that are using this road called federal roads in Benin City or in Edo State, they are Edo people. They are the Edo people, they are the users of these roads. And if you recall, the last administration said of them to do something about it.
Godswill Enegbe, let's get something straight here. Yes. For you mentioned Ekpoma, the fifth section in Ekpoma, right from Irekmen, even after the school gates, I've been there. Laudable job that has been done there. But we want you to tell us: is it the Edo State government that is doing that, or a particular company? Let's get it straight.
As I just said before, this is a commitment between the Edo State government and the federal government by the agreement between the governor and the Minister of Works. Yes, the contractor that is doing that as of Benin Ekpoma Road, Abual contractors, there are a certain tax repayment they ought to make with the federal government. And because of the federal government policies, or some of these companies that were to repay taxes to the federal government coffers, they were given some houses of roads to be constructed in order to convert those taxes. I'm just trying to explain it in a simple man understand, so that everyone listening to all this one can easily understand it without necessarily using the legal or the grammatical jargons. So it's simple as that. The federal government directed some of those companies to convert their taxes in constructing a certain houses of as located by the Ministry of Works. So what the governor did was this, because those contractors working in that road, the contractors working in that road, they have some houses that they ought to face by the repayment of their taxes. So the governor now made appeal to the Minister of Works that he will want the entire stretch of that road to be fixed. Because if you fix some part of it and leave the others, the problem has not been completely solved. And the honorable ministers agreed with the government.
All right, now let's get to hear from Comrade Fred. Comrade Fred, someone saying that the reason why, one of the reasons
houses.
I think, Comrade, Gospel anyway. Yeah, Gospel anyway.
I'm with you, sir.
Just anchor your point so that we can get to Aleboro.
I'm saying it was agreement for the interest of the Delta people. So that's why we are having those contractors being on that full stretch of that road, houses from Iru Ekmen, Ekmoma, Irua, Egu, out down to Ouch. So the state government made the commitments with the Ministry of Works through the Honorable Minister of Works, and today we are seeing the impact of such agreements. Not just on that stretch of that road, the same thing happened in Bini Sapele Road. The same thing is also happening in Bini Agbo Saba Road. So these roads, as I said before, even though they are federal roads, the government has continued to maintain that the majority of people using this road, applying this road, they are Edo people. So when these roads are bad, the direct impact, those who feel the impact, those who are their business that are grounded and other activities are grounded, majority of them, they are Edo people. So why won't him look for a way to fix this road for the benefit and the interest of the people? And that's exactly what the governor has done.
Thank you so much, Godwin Enegbe, SA to Governor Parallel Communications and Media. And let's move straight over to Fred. Fred, someone saying that this particular project embarked by some governors is to siphon money. Hence, Mr. President, criticism or admonition. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, thank you again, my respect panelists on the studio. When somebody said that projects executed are meant to siphon money, I take exception to that, especially to our governor. If what the person mean or those critics mean by this kind of project is used to siphon money, I think that we should have more of these projects so that such visible projects so that we can, the citizens can testify that they are in is doing well, and he will still do well. All the road he has mapped, if you look at those states, I'm not a project evaluation officer, but I've gone around and I've seen for myself what the road, the mapping of the road. First and foremost, the governor, before he embark on any construction of any road in the state, he will deploy the contractor to ensure that the drainages are first constructed. And somebody will come and say that this road construction and the project they are embarking on flyovers and other is to siphon money. If that's what they call it, I will employ other governors to embark on such projects so that everywhere can be better. Where they call it siphon of money, I call it development of infrastructure, critical infrastructure. Because road infrastructure is the best responsible governor. We can testify that we are having a better life right now through the road construction that the government is doing. from Iruekpe to Ewu right now, the road construction that has been done in that place is massive. You do not even experience any kind of pothole. And I can assure you that in the next 80 years, that road will not have pothole because it was properly done. So, my brother Wilson, I think we need more of Ukpebolo in governance in other states, so that whether they call this siphoning of money, they should continue to say what they are saying, while the masses begin to continue to enjoy what they are enjoying on the street right now.
Okay.
Democracy cannot say to be enjoyed if the people certify that they are having a better life. That's why the governor, that's what the governor is doing, you know, and we should applaud him.
Okay.
So this is my view on this.
Evans, remember, Igbobazuwa wrote the state there. For serious attention. You don't get to mention also the outbreach.
Yeah. I think,
So,
I want to think that the issue of roads in Edo State is in phases. I mean, we saw the permanent secretary, Minister of Works in Edo State, engineer, what's his name now, saying that it's going to be done in phases.
Recede.
So away from that now, Godswill Enegbe, let's turn over to the recent trip made by the governor of Edo State to the United Kingdom. I mean, this is not the first time. Sometime around this time last year, that was in 2025, where the governor was also there. And of course, he's there. He was there again this year. Now, what would you say is the major pullouts from this trip? I mean, let Edo people hear it out from you. Mr. Godswill. Mr. Godswill Enegbe.
All right, let's see if Comrade Fred is there. Someone saying that this trip to the UK is a waste of taxpayers' money, that whatever you would have done then the UK, those states also would have been able to host this particular set of persons in the diaspora that the governor of Edo State went out there to host. What do you think about this allegation, being that it's a huge waste of Edo taxpayers' money?
Okay, I think we were now good enough. We also saw ITV's, reporter Rosalyn Eborame giving us the footage. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Godswill, if you hear us clearly, we're talking about this recent trip made by the Edo State governor to the UK. I mean, this is not the first time. Sometime around this time last year, he was in the UK, and this year again, he was there. So, what would you say is the major pullout from this trip? I mean, to the Edo people, let them hear.
Is that question for me, please?
Yes, Mr. Godswill.
Thank you so much once again for having me. Sorry, the network challenge here because of the course and all that. Well, the truth is that I was part of that delegation to the United Kingdom, and I want to seize this occasion again to thank Mr. Governor for the opportunity given to me, as always, to serve in this administration. And I want to once again appreciate him for the confidence he reposes on me to always serve him at any given opportunity. As an eyewitness who was there for this summit in London, I can say with every sense of responsibility and duty to my beloved state that this governor, everything he embarked upon, everything decision he makes is all about the interests of Edo people. And that summit in London was another avenue which the governor uses to bring Edo State again to the world and to showcase what he has achieved in just less than 2 years in office. It is historic. It is historic. I stand to be challenged. What this governor has achieved in just less than 2 years in office, in this nation, our dear country, no governor have been able to achieve what Senator Mondekbewulu has achieved. I stand to be challenged. And the governor now felt that the Edo diaspora community, who are major stakeholders in the project Edo, these Edo people in the diaspora who are committed to the development of Edo State, who contribute to the development of Edo State, who are part of the growth and progress in Edo State, need to be aware of what the governor has done so far and where the governor wants to take the state to. And so that summit created the opportunity for the governor to show to the people, the stakeholders of Edo, what he has achieved through a documentary which every participant that was there, that watched the documentary, applauded. If documentaries, rather this documentary was not AI generated, they were not audio projects, they were not MOU events or ceremonies that was being documented. No, these were fixable, tangible projects located across the 3 senatorial districts in Edo State that any person can go and verify. And where this Edo community in Darfur watched this documentary, they prayed for the governor, they applauded the governor, and they said that they've never seen in the history of the state any governor that have achieved what Senator Modupe has achieved in just 1 year, 7 months in office. So when you see some of, I keep using the word webinar because we know some of these individuals always trying to, trying to throw stones, trying to criticize. When we see what they are doing, we are laughing. Because when someone is doing well, everybody sees it. Good thing in our local parlance, they say that I decide itself. What the governor is doing at those states, it's speaking for itself. You don't even need propagandists to spill it for the governor, because these projects, they are there for everyone to see and they speak for themselves. So that was one part of that London Summit. And the other part of the London Summit is, of course, the governor to also let the diaspora community to know, diaspora to understand that this state is open for investment. That's the governor told the people that the state is not safe. It's not peaceful for any investor to come and invest. When the governor came on board, everybody knew how the state was in terms of security, especially the court-related crisis in Edo State. Nobody was, had the interest to come and invest in Edo State because the place wasn't safe. Court crisis, where the order of the day, dead bodies be littered across the streets in Benin City. This is not propaganda. Not exaggerating, but that is the statement of fact. That was the reality before Senator Modupe came aboard. And he told the people that, look, by the grace of God and by his commitment and determination, he was able to contain court-related crisis. And now today, Edo is safe for any investor to come and invest. You cannot, in the night, lock your door in Benin City and close your eyes without no fear of any attack. And the people, once again, applauded the governor because they are aware, they have seen it. They are following up what is happening in those states. So it's not about going abroad to go and start preaching what is not on ground.
Okay.
And the people agree with him.
We'll
so
come back
please,
to
let
you.
me land here. Let me land. In summarizing my point is this. That summit was a productive one, a fruitful one that Edo people in diaspora deserved, and they all applauded the governor and they thanked the governor. And in fact, the Edo community in Canada, in US, in other countries, after that summit, have reached out to Governor Modupe that they also want to have such meeting with him across the different countries all over the world.
All right.
It's because of the impact of that summit.
Okay, well, we'll come back to you if time permits. Now, let's get to Comrade Fred. Fred, Some are saying that this is a huge waste of Edo State taxpayers' money. After all, if he's to really tell the world what he has done in Edo State, he could have just done it in Benin City, and everyone interested can just log in maybe via his own link. Why would you go spend billions in going to the UK to showcase what you've done when you can easily do it here from Edo State, Benin City?
Okay, thank you, Wilson. You know, the major gains of this London trip is FDI, foreign direct investment. You know, one of the biggest gains is investment inflow into Edo State. You know, investors in London are looking for infrastructure projects, agriculture, real estate, and technology. The trip opens door. The trips to London opens door for capital, you know, that the state alone cannot generate. The state alone may not be able to rely on the federal government, even allocation, to be able to succeed. Two is infrastructure funding and partnership. You know, if we want more roads, more urban development, better facility, we need funding beyond government allocation. Public-private partnership, PPP, you know, development, finance, technology, collaboration. You cannot build modern infrastructure on local revenue alone. You need global, you know, partnership. In terms of job creation, I'm talking about the trip to London. Make it, you know, every serious investment that comes to Edo State, you know, translate into jobs for our timid youths. You know, construction jobs, tech jobs, industrial employment. Investment is not just money. It is employment and opportunity, you know, and the diaspora engagement, you know, Edo people in diaspora are major economic force, you know, in remittance, business, and investment skills transfer. The diaspora is not just abroad; they are partners in development. How do you? Not all of them cannot come to Nigeria. That is why the governor has to take Edo State to London so that it can attract foreign direct investment into this country. You know, this trip position Edo State as an investment destination. And a lot of people don't know. You don't sit back in one corner and feel that, you know, honey will come and meet you. You must go into the bush to go and seek for honey, you know. So when you look at this trip, it's going to help us in this agro-processing industries, manufacturing, SME, and so on and so forth. So the impact, you know, is expand state economy. The state economy will be expanded. The GDP of the Edo State will be on the increase. You know, when you look at the technological skills that will be transferred from that place, you have the digital economy. Look, the tech industry right now, even if this trip talks about that in Edo State and revolves around it, you have education collaboration, capacity building. You know, we have a lot to gain in this trip. This is not just a trip of jamboree. No, it's a trip that put the right in the square hole. You know, it puts Edo State on a global map, builds investors' confidence. The governor was there, strengthens credibility of government. You know, the visibility, you know, visibility drives opportunity. The governor has made himself available, and this is very critical in what we are looking at. So, you know, the projects like road construction and urban development can now be scaled faster with external support because they have seen governor come to UK and show them what he has done so far and requesting. I saw governor particularly was talking to somebody and was telling the person, look, when you come with your proposal.
Yeah, beautiful, Comrade Fred Aleboro.
I will give you a free land to establish your. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Beautiful points that you made there. Let's quickly take this short break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Emobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
All right, thank you for still staying there. Now, we are getting ready. Abuja is almost ready, so in no distant time, we'll join them so that they can fire on with their topic. But quickly, comrade, Mr. Chris Enegbe, now let's quickly get your reaction on the issue of the CFO. That was the certificates of occupancy. I mean, that came up in that summit. This government seems to, it seems to be slow on that issue. Can you quickly just hint us on it?
Okay, sorry, it's me now.
Yes,
sorry,
quickly.
The question was not too clear. I think we're having some technical challenge or something. So, what was the question, sir?
This trip is, is going to improve direct investment back home. Now, we have an issue at hand presently. The issue that has to do with the certificate of occupancy, because when we're talking about investment back home, we're talking about land as a factor of investment. Now, this government seems to be slow on issuing CFO to land prospective investors. What is going on?
Yeah, it's not that the governor seems to be slow. It's that the governor is taking time to ensure that the right thing is being done. If you listen to the governor in that London summit, when one of our brother asked this question, you saw the governor, Mr. Governor, respond. Mr. Governor said that, look, when he came aboard, a particular situation his attention was directed to it, where a 70-year-old boy was given over 2,000 plot or rather acres of land and was given CFO, a 70-year-old boy. So the governor now said, no, how can a 70-year-old boy acquire such acres of land? And hence, since then, the governor said, look, I want to personally understudy and go through this process of getting even a CFO and to know the individuals, if they have actually passed through the right process of getting the CFO over any particular property across the states. So is a government policy not an issue of being slow?
Yeah, if I may cut in here. Now, the issue we are trying to look at here, remember we are coming from a historical background. Before the last administration, this was also a problem. A situation whereby you apply for CFO for investment purpose, it takes decades and years before it gets to you. But when the last administration came on board, I'm talking about the administration of Godwin Obaseki, things were put in ground that facilitated the quick issuance of CFO. And that also promoted some, investments and all that. So for this government to come on board now and tends to take us back to where we're coming from is what is your
reaction?
In
addition, how long, hold on, comrade, in addition to what Evans just asked, how long does it take or will it take the governor to get used to going through the process and signing the CFO? Is it going to take months or years?
It's not the governor's responsibility to ensure that the process is strictly followed. It is the responsibility of those managing the Edo Gs, Edo Geographic, the agencies responsible for it. It's after they've done their own job that these files are, sent to the Mr. Governor to apply the signature. That's the process. But be that as it may, as we said before, the governor have started signing, some of CFO to people who has actually gone through the process. And if just what Mr. Evans was saying, that the last administration was signing CFO for investment and those that, but I'm tempted to ask, where are the investments? Where are the industries that those CFO were purportedly given to establish?
All right, because we
to establish, where are they?
Yeah,
so it's not about giving out CFO to your friends and cronies to acquire lands in Edo State in the name of investment.
Okay. Our time is up. We need to go to Abuja now. We say very big thank you, Godswill Ilegui, for obliging us, and also to Comrade Alabero. Yes. Also, thank you so much for obliging us your time. So we'll take a short pause now, and then when we return, over to Abuja. Please stay tuned.
At the prediction of the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, concerning 2027 election, presidential election in Rivers State, where he has predicted that it is a no-go area for any candidate of any other political party apart from the APC. And that comment has generated so much reactions. That campaign is slated for 15th of August, and just before the campaign, this is coming like a boxer telling his opponent that you are not going to survive first or second round. And since Wike has thrown this jab, a lot of reaction has followed it. And to discuss this, I have with me a political analyst. He's going to be discussing this via at the telephone line, Honorable Nonso Okeke. Very good morning to you. Hello, Honorable. Good morning.
Yeah, good
You
morning.
are now live on independent television, TMI. So quickly, let's get what you think about the comment of the FCT minister saying that in Rivers State, come 2027, the only presidential candidate that should count Rivers as a state that he will win is the candidate of the APC, who of course is our dear president, President Bola Tinubu. Let's hear your comment.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Kadri, and good morning to everyone on the station. Good morning to Nigerians. What a rainy day we have experienced ourselves today. Yeah. And I'm glad to all be at your studio. Well, going straight to the point and your questions, Honorable Mr. Kadri. I think what Wike is saying is a battle for survival. 2027 is going to be the mother of all elections. And why do I say this? Wike did not pick any expression of interest for any position, and the same with the likes of David Umahi and Festus Keyamo, who are all appointees of Mr. President. So when you hear them talking like this, especially Barrister Nyesom Wike, you know that these guys are just pushing to survive for this one more last time, because the implications of them not returning back in 2027 will mean that most of them will either run away from the country or will go into political opinion. So when we are talking about Rivers State, even before they fell out, before the ruling party fell out with Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, Malam Nasiru El-Rufai brought out the real results of what the elections were in 2023. And the casual observer looking at those results was able to see that even the obedient, the people called the obedient, won Rivers State. They won Rivers State landslide, but because of how it happened and what happened. Wike being the chief security of the state, we knew how everything went, and we saw a completely different result from what El-Rufai declared that was the result when they fell out.
Okay, should we believe El-Rufai or believe INEC? Because INEC is the umpire empowered by the Constitution to conduct elections.
No, of course, we all know, like Cardinal Onaiko said, that Nigeria is drifting to a one-party state. And I think we all agree with what he has said, because we no longer have a neutral empire called INEC. You know, so how else do we believe? It is better to believe somebody who was a part of the system and who had a quarrel with the system, or who was a part of the gang and had issues with the gang, than to believe INEC. So, from the questions you're asking me, I think El-Rufai is better to be believed than INEC.
Okay, so let's take it a little bit further. The comment of Wike, is it now by way of implication to threaten other parties? Is it to tell other political parties, candidates, not to come close to Rivers State to campaign? You know, campaigning across the nation is very, very expensive, especially for states like Rivers State. What do you make of that?
Mr. Kadiri, Rivers State is a sub-national, is a sub of Nigeria. And whatever is going through in Nigeria, Rivers State is not exempted to it. Number one, the per capita income of everybody in Nigeria has dropped tremendously, and the cost of living is very high. So every 6 million or 7 million residents of Rivers State is experiencing that challenge too. Then secondly, we understand that insecurity is not a problem of only one part of Nigeria. Rivers State is also getting its own share of insecurity. And again, we have the Amechi factor. Amechi is coming out with Atiku Abubakar. Then we have the P2B factor, who arguably won the election through the obedience in the last election. So what Wike is saying, they are just mere rhetoric and political talks that will be tested on the field come 2027 January 15th. So everybody has to buckle up. We're going to test popularities on the field. Don't forget that everybody is very angry now. Don't forget that the government of Bola Tinubu moved about from 85 million to 140 million persons were moved into the poverty line under three years of this administration.
Yeah, but this area you are going into was raised by the Catholic bishop, and the president disagreed that the economy is buoyant.
Well, you and I know what we are in this economy. The onus lies on the president to, if I were the president, I think I would have been more diplomatic in response and tell the Catholic bishop that I will have help, that I will do my best, but I've done so in this area, I've done good in this area, not to outrightly come and disagree with the bishop, because before like Cardinal will come to talk, there are 5 of them in Nigeria. That now it's like maybe call a cardinal a praise Catholic church. Before a cardinal will come out to make such statements, I think it's important that we understand the role of a cardinal as the voice of the masses. So when a cardinal comes to say that, I expected the president to just listen to him, not to come and defend his government. Even an Abacha, later Abacha, when the Pope came, he listened attentively to the Pope. And I didn't think that Abacha, who was even anything to argue with the Pope. So.
Okay, so now to still what Wike said in that his monthly live broadcast, he fingered Amechi and said that everybody should watch out, that Amechi is going to reject the result that will come out from Rivers. He will blame it on both low voter turnout. The EU think that is what Amechi will do. Is Wike not too in a hurry to begin to predict what people will say, you know, when the election has not even been conducted.
Okay, on that projection that Amaechi
You will reject the 2027 vote, election results.
Even myself here, even myself in your interview, if this coming result doesn't suit what INEC is supposed to declare, I don't think I will personally be happy with INEC. Let's talk of Amaechi. You know, because my brother, Mr. Peter, there is so much suffering in the land. We cannot continue like this. You know, and don't forget that there is a memory of hanging on the neck of Wike and Tinubu and Rear Admiral Ibas retired. What is that memory? That memory of that 6 months emergency rule. I don't think it's been deleted from the minds of the Rivers people. You know, because the South that I know are people that will keep memories for you. You know, I completely think that 6 months emergency rule was needed for River State. You know, so there are so many intervening variables that will make Rivers a no-go area for APC. So saying that Amaechi will reject that result, I think if a observer, a casual voter, will reject a result that doesn't reflect the true position of what is going to happen in River State. So not even only Amaechi.
So at what point should politicians or voters, you know, accept or reject the result? Because from what you are saying now, you are aligning with the prediction of Wike that yourself you are going to reject the result when the election has not even been conducted.
Well, let me give you an instance of one of the most difficult elections in Nigeria held by Professor Humphrey Nwosu. You know, there was an agreement between the Supreme Military Council and the Humphrey Nwosu, the then NEC chairman, to National Electoral Commission chairman, that this election is going to go this way. But when Professor Humphrey Nwosu went into the field, he saw a different result. Just like what happened in the last football between Argentina and Spain. You know, the institutions, you know, as I heard and as I saw, were in favor of a particular team. But the result went to a particular team. And that's how it happened during the IPP era, when we were thinking that the results would go this way. At the point, Professor Humphrey Nwosu became stuck along the line, and he couldn't know what to do. The then chief of army staff, the person of Lieutenant Abacha, came out and called Humphrey Nwosu to declare what the Supreme Military Council wants. And Professor Humphrey Nwosu, you know, who is a very upright man, said, "No, sir. If you are going to declare this thing with your power, come and declare. But from what I'm seeing here, this thing has gone the other way around." You know, so you know, when elections go that way, and you want to come and upturn the will of the people, then it becomes very difficult for people to swallow. Especially with these torturous 3 years that people have gone through. So I think 2027 election, like the Catholic bishops have said, should just allow it to be peaceful. Whoever wins should win, whoever loses should lose.
Okay, so I know that somehow you have your own inclination in this dispensation, I mean the next dispensation of politics. Would you accept if the candidate you are supporting lose? Let's not mention name, let's not mention party, but would you accept the result?
My brother, elections are not do or die.
Good.
I've contested elections.
Beautiful.
Lost elections before. And heavens did not fall. You know, sometimes you even go into these elections just because you want to test the murky waters and you try to understand the system and you go back and strategize and launch out. You know? So based on the questions you are asking me, you know, I think if my candidate doesn't get it right, and I'm convinced within me that he didn't get, you know, there was a better candidate in another party or another organization, then I think I will support that candidate. I'll ask my candidate to go and try another time because you are talking to a progressive. You know, I believe in the good of this country. I believe in the well-being of this country. And I am a believer that Nigeria is the only country we have. So above all, I think it's better to allow peace to reign. But let it be seen, let justice be seen that it has been conducted, that the elections have been conducted fairly for everyone to see. So if my candidate should do an election, then if genuinely he has won the election, then he has to go back and re-strategize.
Okay, I hope this is what every other politician or voter will put at the back of his mind. 15th is just next week when the windows will be open for campaign. And we are going to be seeing the likes of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, the former presidential candidate of, Labour now, NDC Peter Obi, and his running mate Rabi Musa Kwankwaso. The president will also be there, and many others, including Omoyele Sowore, who is currently standing, trial before the Federal High Court on alleged cyberbullying. They'll be crisscrossing the length and breadth of this country. What do you expect from them?
Well, Atiku Abubakar, a seasoned politician who has, tried, for a very long time. I wish him well. It's the fourth time. Like the late General Muhammadu Buhari told Peter Obi once Peter Obi visited him in Kaduna. He told Peter Obi that you are a young man and you are a bright man, and you should keep trying, and someday he's going to get presidency. And I think that was one of the frankest advice from I've heard from late General Muhammadu Buhari. So that's it for an Atiku who has tried, and he needs to go and mend fences, and he needs to reassure Nigerians more that he's not coming here for a continuation of what the old stocks have been doing. Because honestly speaking, everyone sees an Atiku as a continuation of the old generation politician. Then for Tinubu, we are witnessing, we are all in Nigeria, and we can rightly say that it's not done well. Not because
there are areas that he has also tried. Hello? So we lost that. Okay, he's still with us. The network at times malfunctions. Okay, the discussion is actually around the 2027 general election, and we have seen that the former governor of Rivers State, who is, of course, the current minister of the FCT, clearly has given his prediction. Of course, regarding his state, he said that it's a no-go area for any candidate aside the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, where, of course, we have our dear President Bola Tinubu. We believe that Tinubu will take Rivers State, and that at the end of that election, the former governor of Rivers State, who is the running mate to Atiku Abubakar, will cry foul. That is, will definitely reject the results, claiming that there was a low voter turnout. Okay, Honorable, if you are back with us and you can hear me, let's take your concluding part of your concluding words in this discussion segment.
Well, I want to encourage all Nigerians, like Bishop David Oyedepo has said in his last sermon, that everybody should go and get his voter's card. That's the only way you can speak. According to Reverend Wanok Raphael, one of the finest political analysts, he said your vote is a special prayer of the kind of world you wish to live in. So I think 2027 is a decision time for all of us who are not happy with how things are working. And I also want it, like the last question you asked me, let it be a free and fair. Let it be a free and fair contest. Whoever that loses this election, should show the spirit of sportsmanship. But one thing I want to assure Nigerians is that the Humphrey Nwosu kind of election will repeat itself in 2027, where there will be surprises because a lot of persons are agitated. And they are not agitated based on political divide. They are agitated genuinely because we have not moved forward as a people and we have not moved forward as a country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Nonso Okeke, for your time with us on the program this morning. I'm sure that all that you have said will be something that the politicians will definitely work with. Election is not do or die. If you win, fine. If you lose, go and plan for another day. We can also see that one of our former president, although not late, tried many times and he won in one of those times, and he ruled twice. So it's really not a do or die affair. But the dividend of democracy must be delivered to the doorsteps of all Nigerians, irrespective of party affiliation. So we now conclude here and then move to Lagos Network Studio for continuation of the program this morning on ITV.
The threat of global warming is real. You have seen the destruction of lives and property as a result of incessant flooding. Make the environment a conducive place for all to live in. Stop polluting the environment. Protect the environment today. This message is brought to you courtesy Independent Television and Radio.
Thanks for joining on TMI this beautiful morning on ITV. I am Marcelina Unkwo, and welcome to our Lagos Network Studio. And our guest this morning is Bishop James Grand Okocha. He's a political analyst. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Mercy, good morning.
Thank you so much for coming.
Good to see you today.
Good to see you too.
Yeah.
Okay, today we're going to be talking about the Osun governorship election. Adeleke's camp demands police neutrality. So the incumbent governor of Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke, says it is confident for retaining power, citing ongoing infrastructure projects, improved workers' welfare and social intervention program as evidence of its performance in office. Adeleke has reportedly stated that he believes the election will reflect the will of the people if it is conducted in a free, fair and transparent manner. Meanwhile, the opposition party, the All Progressive Congress, APC, is campaigning on primaries of improved governance, economic development and enhanced security. But party leaders have criticized the PDP, the Accord administration, and are urging voters to support a change in leadership, while other registered political parties are also waiting in the race, although the contest is expected to be dominated by Accord and the APC. Also, we saw that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has assured political parties and voters that preparations for the election are progressing according to schedule. The commission has urged stakeholders to conduct peaceful campaigns, avoid hate speech, and with electoral law. Security agency has also pledged to provide adequate security before, during, and after the election to ensure a peaceful voting process. So why this matters is the election is seen as a major political test ahead of 2027 general election. And this particular, we saw a video also of the governor Ademola Adeleke, and where he said, and this particular video has been trending. We'll talk more on this video on TMI socials, where he says, I am the chief officer of Osun State, and I am passing this message to you. Osun will not any rigging. If anybody tries to do otherwise, the political of 1983, when some people tried to rig Michael Adjustin out of power in Ondo State, may repeat itself again. President Tinubu, the Accord party has endorsed you as his presidential candidate. sent a message to President Tinubu ahead of the August 15 governorship election in Osun State. Bishop, you know, I've been thinking, why is Osun governorship election attracting so much national attention at this point? Is it because the election is closed, or because of what the governor has been coming out to say during the whole campaign and all of that? Or is it because of the opposition parties, I mean the APC, you know, what they've been coming out to say also during the campaign? Let's get a take.
Well, all right. Good morning, Nigerians. Mercy, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to be here. We're believing that one day we'll have a new Nigeria, and then we're getting there. Well, what is playing out in Osun State is not a joke. This Osun State election is very key because this is the last election that we'll have before the, major election. And then I think this is more like, a platform for INEC to show us the best, they can offer. I mean, it's an election that will either boost the morale of voters or drop it, bring it down. So it's very important. Moreover, you know that our president is also from Osun State, and then it's a very serious election because the president would like to win in his state, and then the man that is sitting there, who also, by his own assessment, just telling us how good he has performed and all of that. So it's very peculiar because Nigerians, Osun State people like us, we want to see what INEC is up to. We want to see the preparedness of INEC, because if they didn't get this right, just one state, I mean, it will go a long way to let us know that they are not there. So, and INEC has done well to come and, speak to them against speech and all of that. But INEC didn't take it to the end, because there should have been a stipulated punishment for people that will go contrary to INEC, direction or directives. Okay, so if you do hate speech or you go after election malpractices, there should be punishment for those things. And I'm expecting INEC to stretch, their hands to that, because it's still part of the things we expect to see. INEC collaborating with political parties, to deal with people that have gone against electoral provisions. So Osun State election is very, very important because the president is from that state, and also it is the last election before the general election. So do you think, is it because the president is from that state? Is that what is giving APC the edge? Because you've been mentioning, the president is from that state, the president, because the president is from that state, APC, does that give APC the edge? Well, it's important that you win your polling units as a politician. It's important to win your local government. It's also important to win your state. I mean, it goes a long way to show how much, of acceptance you have from your own place. So it's important. But at the same time, you know that the APC right now is bent to winning every election, to prove that they are really the ruling party, and to tell all out. If it's a council election, if it is a state election, you see the APC going all out, to show, the federal might there. So I just think that the APC want to win. They want to win all the states. How many states are left? Osun is one of the few states that have not joined the APC. And so they really want to have, all the states join and let the APC be the overall party. So, of course, it's not good for party state. Yeah, but it's becoming so obvious that Nigeria is becoming a one-party state, and it is not good for our democracy. It's not good at all. There's no how everybody will just be, in one party. There is no opposition. Nobody can, criticize when they are wrong. So it's not good. Nigeria is too ex to go, in that. Because I know that the Supreme Court, signed about that, and then something is being done that because there was a court judgment, party should be deregistered. And I think it's not really going down well that way up there in the Supreme Court.
For some parties to be deregistered.
Yeah, including the Accord Party.
Yeah.
Accord Party was one of the parties that should be deregistered. You know, the ADC, the NDC, and all of that. You know, but thank God that, I mean, from what we are getting, the feelers we are getting here and there, you know, such parties will contest.
So let's talk about the statement Governor Ademola Adeleke made, where he said no rigging is accepted. It doesn't mean that, he knows all the other elections or past elections, they've been rigging it, and now it's coming out to say there's no rigging. It's even referring to the president, telling the president that no rigging this time. If not, according to him, what happened during the time of Michael Ajah, for him to have come out to say that there's not going to be rigging, doesn't mean that for other elections or past elections they've been rigging.
To be very candid, to my own understanding, election has not been free and fair in Nigeria.
Election has not been free and fair.
No, election has not been free and fair, because even me, at times, you see, when you finish voting in your unit, when the result comes, you know, you standing there and then you see you know what the result was. That when you see the result elsewhere, you see it's a different thing. Even President Yar'Adua was saying that he knows that the process that him was as back as that. So all this why it has not been unfair in Nigeria. 2023 election, you know, wasn't free and fair the way most of us thought about it. You know, that's my own view, because that's why most of us are pushing that should be electronic voting in Nigeria. It will help. You know, anytime there is, you know, there is fight, there are crises in an election, it cannot be free and fair. You know, even though I'm not support Governor Adeleke to propose crisis, and you know, to propose, I support that people all over they can in the ambience of to prevent rigging of election. You know, but let's not crisis in Nigeria, because we've gone through so much in Nigeria that can afford, you know, to be stretched in that crisis direction.
Okay, is this election likely to be decided by party loyalties or by the candidate's performance and credibility? What do you think? What's your take?
Well, I think party loyalty plays a role, but the performance of the candidate is very vital. It's very vital. Well, I don't know how Osun people will react to this, because in my own thinking, I think money will still play a role. You know, we've not gotten to that point where, you know, this election comes on the 15th. You know, between now and then, we know there will be movement of monies here and there. You know, but we are telling Nigerians, whether you are from Ekiti, you are from Osun State, you are from Kano, Kaduna, Lagos, everywhere, we are telling Nigerians, please, let's have you know, this temptation of taking peanuts, you know, and giving our mandate to a wrong person because of the peanut we're just given, and maybe something you eat for 1 week or so, or 1 day, as the case may be, where people are taking 10,000 to, you know, submit you know their will, their electoral will. All right. So we are asking Nigerians, even people in Osun State, if the governor has performed, why don't you re-elect him? If he has not performed, because we are pushing for, you know, performance. Governance should be about performance. You know, it goes beyond politicking. It should be performance. Don't promise things and you wouldn't do it. They can assess the governor. They know him. They stay in the state. If he has done well, re-elect him. If he hasn't done well, vote him out. And that's exactly what we're going to repeat in 2027 general election. We are voting out everyone that has not performed, from the House of Assembly, House of Reps, Senators. If you know you have not performed, just know that you are going home. You can't be re-elected.
I mean, talking about performance, during the video where he said what he said, Governor Ademola Adeleke, where he made that statement, on the comment section, I went through it, and some persons were saying, oh, if you've done well, you shouldn't be scared. The people would vote for you. They were even referring to Governor Alex Otti, saying, oh, he has done well for a state. So him coming, if he's coming out to contest, the people know that, oh, he did well, and they would want to vote him in. They were referring to Governor Ademola Adeleke, saying, if you did well for your state, you shouldn't be scared, because the people would definitely come out to vote for you. What do you have to say about that?
Well, you know that we are still growing in Nigeria. That's right. When I brought the money issue, I know what I'm saying. We're still growing. There are some times you see, contrary to the people's mandate, you see a person being declared winner of election. There are so many elections you see the court has decided who wins. So many elections the INEC has decided who wins. And most of the time you see it goes contrary to the people. You see the people demonstrating. So Nigeria has not really gotten to that point. Probably we will use a Osun election where we can confidently rely on people's performance, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. So we are looking so much on our eyes are on INEC, and the agencies, the police, every agency that will be involved in this election. We want them to be unbiased. We want them to be fair, to every candidate. All right. We want them to arrest people that are involved in any form of electoral activities or the other situation where but because all right, but I believe that from Osun election, let's see whether performance will count.
Okay, talking about unbiased, we saw a video of the president where he said that the opposition party are thinking that the INEC are favoring his party, favoring the ruling party, saying INEC is unbiased. And that video got a lot of people talking in circulation, saying, why would the president be defending the INEC if the INEC is not working in favor with you? What business do you have with you defending the INEC? And which you have to tell that, for the president to come to say that the INEC is being biased, the INEC, they're doing the job, they're doing not biased. And the opposition party is saying the INEC is biased. Someone was telling the party they are not supported for the president to be defending the INEC.
No, since your television for what they are doing. Sometimes I was on air, I was clamoring for strengthening our institutions instead of making personalities stronger than institutions. Do you understand? I've also made mention of a situation where it would have been nice we find a way, another way we can be appointing the INEC chair, not the president, because it is not possible for you to appoint someone, because he knows everyone who is the INEC chairman, whether this one or the ones previously, they know there are too many people that are qualified to be that. And then whatever that makes you to pick him, in the place of other means you have trust in him. It means you have shown him favor. So there is no how to find a way to return this favor. Not about President Tinubu. This is how it runs in Nigeria. The president, appoints the INEC chairman, and it should be so, because somehow them being biased. Do you understand? Then for the president to do the INEC, I don't think it's correct. We are the one to look at when you become referee in a game you are in. Look at it, it's somehow, tell you honestly. And then to that was the seat of the Catholic bishops, to president. There are some presidents I have been thinking about, which, of course, people should talk about that so that it cannot send a wrong signal to people. The president also said that in politics, all is fair. I mean, thinking, is that statement really correct? It's all fair in politics. That means if I outsmart you, all is fair. If I beat you, fair. You know, for me, it's not sending a right signal. You know, that's all. I mean, whatever you can do to win election, if you like, grab the blood box. If you like, burn it. If you like, you know, cut. That's still the pump. You know, so people should really make, you know, the people on the street to understand what we're trying to communicate, because I don't think what he could be what he meant. Because if that's really what he meant, that statement, I mean, be thought about twice.
So what you're saying is because the president is actually elected, the INEC chairman, that is the reason why INEC is working on the favor of the ruling party, the president, because it was wanted there.
Well, if you look at this, just look at the story, look at Nigeria. You see, we have, I don't know when the INEC is independent, you know, in name. In actuality, is INEC really independent? It's not independent. INEC, they're not doing their own, it's not independent. So that's why we have been pushing. In fact, this election, we expect them to come and they should come on air. I saw them once last week. Fine. They should make more appearances. Carry the people along. Let us know what you are doing. All right? If there are places we will criticize. For me, I think the INEC will prove that they are independent in Osun election, or they are biased. But as far as I'm concerned, this time, I'm here to see the degree of independence.
So we should wait and see what happened in Osun election.
This is the number one asset to the new INEC chairman. This is the number one asset test the election is conducting in fullness. So let's use it as a case study to see what it can be.
You made mention earlier that the APC is into winning. They want to win by all means. So at this point, what strategy do you think the APC is relying on to unseat the incumbent governor? I'm talking about Osun State governor.
Well, I can't say the strategy if you how it has always been. I personally, I cannot just say it is by performance, because even so much performance at the federal, they can use that, you know, as the case to say, see what we in the federal level, there is no security, there is no insecurity in Nigeria anymore, you know. So see how we have crops and food available and all of that. So in case something like that is happening, I want to get myself glued on air, or probably visit Osun State and then see how their rallies are. See, it's promising to do state that is different from what, you know, we are seeing, that is different from what we have several in other states where APC, you know, government. I'm yet to see strategy. I don't know what the strategy is for right now. If not, maybe the normal way, you know about it haphazardly. You know, I don't know. I don't know the strategy APC will use to convince people in Osun State that they're going to perform better.
Okay, let's stop statement the governor made Adeleke, Ademola Adeleke, where he said he alleged that supporters of his political camp and residents in Osun State have been victims of politically motivated killings ahead of the state governorship election. According to him, he alleged that there have been extrajudicial killing intimidations of, he says. He appealed to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to intervene incidents and ensure peace, security, and a free, fair election in Osun State. He also warned, according to him, that that continued violence would on the credibility of the election. But let's talk about that before we talked about the response APC gave. It's alleging now that the APC, you know, they are actually that they're in charge of the killings. Most of his supporter, that they're killing the supporter in terms of insecurity.
Well, you see, the insecurity thing is something we cannot say it is one party or the other that is doing this. But if the chief security officer of a state is making allegations, they should hold him accountable for such allegations. Probably he has his proofs, which I cannot stand here and say it's not true. You know, I don't think that chief security officer can just come on air and start, speaking, things that he knows that can threaten the peace of the people. All right, so he knows that better. But just like what he did, appealing to the president, I am also appealing to the president and every law enforcement agent in Nigeria to make sure that the life of Nigerians are not being wasted during election. Just like President Jonathan said, there are crises when there is election. But I just know that because it is just this one state, enough security personnel should be deployed, and they should be unbiased to make sure that, security is provided for every Osun citizen.
Security, not just every Osun citizen. I mean, Nigeria as a whole.
Well, that's a bigger picture, because if you throw the talk in that direction, you see how people are being. In fact, that the thing is about to calm down. Okay. I mean, it has escalated once again. So let something be done about this insecurity. We can't cry enough, about that. I
mean, we saw a video where the said, I've done it before. Right? After election, this whole insecurity, we will no longer hear of insecurity in the country. I mean, it will go down that we should watch after election. And it got a lot of people talking, saying, oh, do you mean this people knows things that we do not know about? These all insecurity issues. For him to be saying that insecurity will, will end, or let's take a look that it's going to subside after the election.
I have always been saying that our political leaders should be held accountable. When they make certain statements, they should be held accountable. They should be reaction from us. We should take everything they give us. We should ask them. Though unfortunately, the way right now is when you are not speaking in favor of the ruling. I mean, it will be as though you are attacking, the president. No, it is not an attack. Just like what happened while the bishops went to I wasn't expecting the president to give a defense. They have come to air their view. They are on the street. They meet with people. They have come to air their, what they feel that is happening. Take the how clergy out of speaking the truth, so that leaders will be corrected. Go and read the Bible of religious leaders. Correct kings. The only king that tried to be smart over a correction from a prophet, and you saw how he died. Right? So know that these things has consequences. I was watching somebody like Daniel Buwala, asking the highly Reverend Cardinal to apologize. It's Daniel Buwala that should apologize for misleading us. When you watch his videos of 2023 ban today, you see that this is a man that speaks from the both sides of his mouth. I am telling you that should be quiet. Statement like that comes. The president should tell us more.
I mean, they're not.
Yes. I like the way up. I like the way they are coming up. Because if it's been like this, I'm telling you, if it has been like this, I've gotten to this point. First year, third year, insecurity was increasing, and people were just sitting back in the comfort of the places, doing nothing about it. But right now, people are speaking. Most of the time, I agree with Cardinal. There are sometimes Mr. President might not know exactly all that is happening, and people around him might not tell him exactly because if they tell him, it seems like 1 or 2 persons are not really meeting up with their obligation, right? So at times, you need to hear from people from the floor, people like us. Do you understand me? So whatever it takes to push Nigeria to electoral fairness, you know, all hands must be on deck. Whatever it will take Nigeria to point of security, all voices should be speaking about it until the leaders that are voted by us will give us exactly what we expect of them. We come back out.
At this point, you come back out. So the APC actually rejected Adeleke being them as unsubstantial and politically motivated. Do you think all this is being politically motivated?
Well, like I said, I don't know how a governor would just wake up and start speaking in for political reasons. What hasn't happened? Okay. I believe there could be incidents. Of course, the security agencies should look in. Let's not just discard things as political. When somebody, you know, says something, like somebody like a governor, you know, someone you know that every the thing, all activities happening within, you know, that confine comes to his table. All right? Let's not just discard it. Let's make some inquiries. Let's look into it. I don't want it to be discarded as a political statement. All right, let the security agencies look into if there are killings, if there are crises, and let them do the best they can to quell it. At this point, like I said, we have suffered, and then at least have a little peace, right?
Oh, we've suffered a lot. We should have a little peace, and you know, it's I've always thought it like Nigerians want a solution to insecurity. I mean, that is not our main topic, but it is something we would keep talking about because it's been happening and it's kept happening, and we do not even know what will happen next. So we'll keep talking about insecurity till we find a lasting solution. Okay, actually, the party accused Adeleke's administration of attempting to shift blames and claimed that APC members, I'm talking about APC member, accusing Adeleke's administration of shifting the blame. And they also claimed that APC members have also been victims of political violence in the state, while Adeleke's campaign team respected that governor was not attacking the president, but was simply calling attention to the security situation, asking for the federal intervention.
Well, see, I want to make this thing clear. APC members should understand that there is a difference between the office of the president and Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Do you understand me? Most of the time, we place demand and we speak to the office of the president. It is not an attack to Mr. President. So if Mr. President leaves the office tomorrow, some other person comes to that office, they are still speaking to the office of the president. So anytime somebody speaks to the office of the president, you see APC members attacking the person. It's not an attack to the person of our president. You see, all our pressure, all our expectation, you know, is you know, from the president. He has the final say. And I mean, he's the driver. He's the one leading. So there is who else do we talk to? Who else do we talk to? You see, this issue of insecurity in Osun State, like I have always said, despite the fact that the governor, I said this thing during Oyo State crisis, despite the fact that the governor is the you know, the chief security officer of a state, all right? Does he have the power? Does he have, you know, the wherewithal? Is he the one in charge of the army? Is he the one in charge of the police? Is he the one in charge of the civil defense? These are people that are commissioned by law, all right, to manage crisis. But the governor is not the one in charge of them. The commissioner of police takes instruction from the IG of police, not from the governor. So when you look at it, you see, that's just a mere name. Chief Security of the state. Chief Security, with what? What is he going to chief secure the place? He's not in control of the security agencies. So you can see the feebleness. You can see the hopelessness of governors at times.
You know, during on the comment section when I saw the video, it's very interesting. Trust me. Somebody was like, "Oh, now for campaigning election, you are the chief security officer. While when it's insecurity in the country, the president is the chief executive security officer." And that particular statement got me. I mean, now they were like, "Oh, Ademola Adeleke is claiming to be the chief security officer of Osun State now because of the whole election stuff." But if it's insecurity, you're not the chief security officer. You would be saying that, oh, the president is the chief security officer. The insecurity in this country is so much. You need to do this. You need to do that. But because it's election and campaigning, now you're claiming to be the chief security officer.
I fought that reaction. Whoever that wrote that is partisan. Do you understand? Let me tell you what happens. Okay. The intelligence. Do you understand? When the governor say, "I am a chief security officer," that means he's receiving reports everywhere. Security reports, all right? But he is not acting on them. It's the police that acts on them. That's why the CP and the governor, you know, they are always 5 and 6 because they work hand in hand. The commissioner of police of a state is really the chief security officer of the state. And that's why we should respect these CPs. They are really the chief security. Because if a governor finds out something, is he going to arrest the people or fight? No, he will call on the commissioner of police, who ultimately submits to the police, who ultimately submits to the president. So when you look at it, saying I'm the chief security officer, all right, is correct because he has the intelligence. But who is really the chief security officer of the state? Who's supposed to be? It is the man that has the arms. So it is not him that should. All this crisis, there's no much the governor can do, if not to see how he can provide intelligence and then work efficiently with the commissioner of police. He can't work without the police. That you are a chief security officer and the federal government withdraws police from a state. What will you do? You can't do anything. Even if you create your local vigilante, are they going to go with AK-47? They cannot. All they can carry is, they can fire machete. So when you look at it, you see that governors, to an extent, are handicapped. So that statement, I fought it. Where there are crises in a state, there has to be a collaboration of that state and the federal government to fix that, because the real power is from the top.
So you made mention of earlier, you made mention that, oh, if you're going out to vote this time around, vote your conscience, you don't have to collect peanuts or collect money from this to vote.
Sure.
But don't you think the cost of living and economic hardship would influence voting decisions?
Well, there is no how. If you put it, cost of living, economic situation will affect, definitely it should affect. It should affect the way we vote. If the government has served you well, all right, you should express that impressiveness by the way you vote. But if you have suffered in this administration, you should also express yourself. Don't let 10,000 change the suffer for 4 years. The suffer for 8 years. Don't let 20,000 change it. Because if you say, okay, let me collect this one and vote for them. Well, I don't know. I've seen people that are saying, if they give you anything, collect, but make sure you vote the right person. But I think rejecting their offers, because if they didn't give you that thing that day, will you die? What if that opportunity didn't come? You will not die. You'll have found another way to survive. But if you feel that without that you can die, you can. After all, it's our money. All right? But 2027, Nigerians should vote their conscience.
2027, Nigerians should vote their conscience.
Yeah.
What if they vote their conscience and it is being rigged and, I mean, that is the fears of most Nigerians. Voters' apathy. They're scared. What if I come out to vote? Will my votes count? What if I come out to vote? Would, you know, won't there be violence, you know, fighting and all of that? Will I get home safe? Will my votes count and all of that? Voters, I mean, at this point, I feel a lot of Nigerians want to come out to vote. They want to come out to vote. But at the same time, they're still doubting in their mind. Will my votes count? If I come out to vote, will it count? What would you have to say? I mean, people, what would you have to say to those people that are scared? If I should come out to vote, will my votes count?
Well, I just have to tell them to come out. Let's play our part first. You know, let's play our part first. You know, I think it was on this that I was saying that, you know, from INEC, number one, I don't think there should be a time you stop registering voters, because people are becoming just. I should work in the local government and pick voters out. All right, you know that should, and then 2027. Don't be. Let's just do the right thing, and then let's watch the people doing. I mean, the people that are in power. First of all, come out. Don't give my account. It will count. Come out and and let's defend our vote will count in 2027. Definitely. I look at my category. I clean the dog.
Okay, let's quickly talk about this. We saw the primaries, the AP primaries election, the amount of vote the president pulled for the APC election. Even though people are saying that, oh, with the economic hardship, that, and he got that amount of votes. Let's see, over 11 million votes.
Well, if you have, you will see the kind of. In fact, I have to spend time to educate my little boy that that's not how numerical numbering goes. All right. If you have watched, you will see the kind of you know, year 1, 5, 10,000, 50,000, that kind of a thing. Well, that's a show of shame. I don't want to talk about it. It's still of shame. Nigerians shouldn't be doing that at this, you know, in the first century.
So what advice do you for parents, the presidency, opposition out there?
All I want to say is let's allow Nigerians. Let's make sure that there's equity. You know, let's sure that, you know, we are not trying to asthma one another. Prayer is for all of us, and we hope that soon there'll be a rebirth of this nation. We're Nigeria, number one in the clique of nations.
We hope so too. I hope so too. Do well to get your PVC. Go out there, cast your vote. Remember, vote your conscience. Your vote will count. For you've heard what the bishop said. For those people that are scared that if I should go out, will my vote count? Go out first and vote and see what happens next. Thank you, Bishop James Grant, for your time.
Always my pleasure to be here.
And thank you all our viewers. Thank you, Nigeria, for joining our Lagos Net this beautiful morning on TMI. I am Marcelina Unko. We'll be handing over to Benin, our Benin studio for the continuation and TMI. Just stay with us.
some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Emobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
A beautiful morning to you and thanks for joining us on ITV News for this time. I am Harry Igboje. The federal government has directed vice chancellors, rectors and provosts to dismiss any student found guilty of kidnapping or related crimes after due investigation. Education correspondent Comfort Idoko reports that the Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, gave the directive during a meeting with the Government Council and management of the Federal University of Lafia, where he also announced new measures to strengthen security across Nigeria's tertiary institutions.
Speaking during a meeting with the Pro-Chancellor, members of the Governing Council and management of the Federal University of Lafia in Abuja, the Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, directed Vice Chancellors, Rectors and Provosts to dismiss any student found guilty after due investigation of involvement in kidnapping or related crimes.
I'm directing you now and the Vice Chancellor, you need to set up your high intelligence unit. There has to be deterrence. Any student responsible, dismiss that student immediately. Dismiss the student immediately. You can't, but if you tolerate this, it will become a menace. By the time you dismiss 10 students, it will stop. It will go away completely.
The minister also announced that the 2027 TED Fund Intervention Program will support security projects, including perimeter fencing and other critical infrastructure. The Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Lafia, Professor Mohammed Kida, commended the federal government's reforms and appealed for the extension of the Energizing Education Program to the institution's second campus, as well as additional office accommodation and staffing support.
Our university at the time was rated one of the 10 most sought universities in the country. So people are pouring in from all over. That necessitated the increase in admission to about 26,000 from 6,000. Really, we need academic infrastructure seriously.
Earlier, the Pro-Chancellor of the Federal University of Lafia, Dr. Mrs. Adebimpe Adebajo, raised concerns over student accommodation, water supply and insecurity.
Maybe some students themselves are responsible for the kidnapping because the amounts that they were initially demanding and what they actually negotiated and eventually got was quite a disparity in the amounts.
From Abuja, Comfort Idoko, ITV News.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, says Nigeria must begin to prepare young people for leadership now and not wait until tomorrow. Abbas was speaking on Tuesday at the launch of the LEAD Fellowship Program at the National Assembly Library Trust Fund. Organi Victor reports that the program was a convergence of resource persons from all walks of life.
Speaking on Tuesday at the launch of the LEAD Fellowship by the Gender Mobile Initiative at the National Assembly Library Trust Fund, the speaker, represented by Honorable Kafilat Ogbara, said the country's large youthful population must be equipped with knowledge, ethical values, and institutional exposure to turn ambition into public service.
Do not measure your success merely by the office you eventually occupy. Measure it by the problems you solve, the deliberate dedication you pour to uplifting the lives of others.
The House spokesman, Representative Akin Rotimi Jr., and the Director General of NEEDS, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, urged fellows to prioritize character, competence, and service. They said strong institutions need capable leaders and leadership must be nurtured early.
These efforts of the 10th Assembly House of Representatives reflect a clear conviction. Young people must not remain spectators in governance. Democracy works best when young people participate, organize, engage institutions, contest ideas, and hold leaders accountable.
The LEAD Fellowship is a strategic investment in Nigeria's future leadership because it recognizes that leadership development begins long before individuals assume public office.
Executive lead of Gender Mobile Initiative, Omowumi Ogunrotimi, also had this to say about the program.
Campus politics is where the DNA of Nigeria's future political culture is rehearsed. However, as a society, we have turned a blind eye to systemic flaws that threaten our democratic future.
The speaker proposed a LEAD alumni policy network to sustain mentoring and policy research and pledged continued partnership between the House and the Gender Mobile Initiative. From the National Assembly, Organi Victor, ITV News.
The deteriorating condition of the Ovia Bridge section of the Benin-Lagos Expressway in Ovia Northeast local government area of Edo State has renewed concerns among residents and commuters. Despite several years of appeals for action, the failed portion continues to pose safety risks, disrupt transportation, and affect economic activities along the major highway. Donald Emie was at the bridge on Tuesday morning.
For several years, the failed section of the Ovia Bridge along the Benin-Lagos Expressway has remained a major concern for motorists, residents, and businesses that depend on the busy route. Every day, vehicles approaching the portion of the highway are forced to reduce speed as they navigate the deteriorating section, resulting in traffic build-up, longer travel time, and increased risk for road users. The strategic importance of the bridge had earlier attracted the attention of the House of Representatives, which expressed concern over the condition of the infrastructure and called for urgent federal government intervention.
What is really caused the accident? There is damages of the road on top of that bridge. There is another truck where it's coming from the sloping, and they couldn't know that maybe there is hold up there. We tried as much as possible to apply brake, but the brake you couldn't apply again.
I beg, this road don't consume a lot of life. You don't kill both pregnant women, little children, old men, different kind of type of people.
Every day, any motorway spoil for this place, nobody to talk to them, no task force at all. Now they cause so many accidents.
Under the bridge, it don't weak. People lost life, people don't lost life for you. I don't know what you go take the government to do and make the repair the road.
It is indeed a sympathetic situation. Lots of goods and vehicles have been raised down here as a result of the accident, which reportedly happened on Sunday, due to the failed portion of the Ovia Bridge along the Benin-Lagos Expressway. Is this the way we will remain in Nigeria? From the Benin-Lagos Expressway, Donald Ehiminyeng, ITV News.
Let's now take a trip to Sokoto State, where the police command has confirmed the deadly attack by Lakurawa militants on Gekau community in Kebbi local government area of the state, which left a police officer and 2 civilians dead, with several others injured and an unspecified number of cattle. also saw the assailants set ablaze 2 security vehicles belonging to the Nigeria Police Force and the Sokoto State Community Guard Corps. The command spokesman, Ahmed Rufai, said the command received a distress call and swiftly deployed operatives to the community, where they engaged the attackers in a gun battle and successfully repelled them. He added that the command had intensified security operations in the area and reaffirmed its commitment to protecting lives and property. Residents said the heavily armed attackers stormed the community and opened fire indiscriminately on security personnel and villagers, forcing many people to flee for safety. The residents appealed to the federal government and the Sokoto state government to reinforce security operations across Kebbi and neighboring local government areas to prevent further attacks. And to other stories where the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, has directed vice-chancellors, rectors and provosts across Nigeria to dismiss any student found culpable in kidnapping or other related crimes. Alausa also ordered the heads of tertiary institutions to strengthen internal intelligence systems and deepen collaboration with the Department of State Services, DSS, and other security agencies in their respective states as part of a nationwide strategy to safeguard campuses and protect students. He gave the directive during a meeting in his office in Abuja with the Pro-Chancellor, members of the Governing Council, and management of the Federal University of Lafia, Nasarawa State, while noting that Nigeria's universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education remain largely safe and secure. The minister said recent isolated incidents involving students outside campuses underscore the need for stronger intelligence gathering and closer collaboration with security agencies.
In a student that is culpable, that is culprit in planning kidnapping attack on fellow students, do not have a place in any of our schools. And I'm giving you that ministerial directive immediately after your full investigation and you've ascertained their involvement, dismiss.
The minister disclosed that he recently held an extensive meeting with the Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, retired, to develop a coordinated strategy aimed at strengthening the Safe Schools initiative and enhancing the protection of learners across the country. And that does it on ITV News for this time. Many thanks for watching. I am Harry Igboje. TMI Socials is next. Please stay tuned.
ITV, certainly the best.
Wednesday morning talk on trend stories on social media, and of course, to hear people's reaction about different stories. I am Marcelina Unkwa. First, we would be looking at where the governor of Osun, where he says, "I am the Chief Security Officer of Osun, and I am passing this message to you. It was referring to the president. It said, Osun will not accept anybody tries to do otherwise. The political crisis of 1983, when some persons tried to rig Michael Adjison out of power in the state, may repeat itself again. President Tinubu, the party has endorsed you as its presidential candidates. Why are you suffering? Why are we suffering? Particular video has been trending on social media, and of course, different people with their defections. This video was made by the governor of Osun State, Governor Ademoke. Take a look at the video before we go to the reactions.
I'm passing this message to you. Did I take your sushi? I need that. At the end, don't see Kilote. Trophy power. Trophy power, Yoruba. Our local team were compromised. And then Konoma.
Since he is the chief security officer of the state, he should tell us those that has been killing people in a state. Okay, that is what I use as text. Governor Adeleke is right to insist on free, fair, and fair polls. Voters deserve to have their turn without interference. August 15 should be about the people's choice. Nothing less. Interesting. Okay, the other user says, now you are the chief officer of Osun State, but when it comes to insecurity, Tinubu is the chief security of state. Tinubu and you will reach a night. This other one says, I'm sorry to say this, sir, but if you don't well like Alex, you wouldn't be running around for well. Your family has enjoyed wealth for life. It is high time someone else's son make a meaning to the lives of the people. Okay, for that particular story. This other story that have been trending on social media is the story of where he came out to say during Pella's wedding, you know, some commuters were seen going to Pella's wedding, and some street urchins stopping the car, demanding for money. If you don't give them money, they might not allow you move. And this particular video has been trending on social media, and of course, there's different lot of people talking. Let's take a look at the video before we go to the reaction.
For there is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be around. Oh, that's after 20 years ago. That's when I shall sing this song. Since that time, up to now, it's still running. Everybody looking. Fire. Fire. I tell everybody I've seen these videos by now. I tell everybody I've seen these videos by now. It hurts my heart. See the way they are begging because there is hunger in the land. Yet some people are there criticizing Cardinal that why will he private meeting? Because he said country is bleeding. They say, oh, he's partisan. Oh, he belongs to Peter Hanikwe. There is fire thing. It's the state of emergency. Make money. As long as you make, you enjoy Nigeria. As long it will reach a point. And you and your money, nothing.
Wow, let's take a look at people's reaction. This user says, these Agberos need to do more. Everybody must feel the heat. You celebrity think you can work out a failed system. Okay, let's take a look at another reaction. That is not hunger, bro. It is a societal mentality of most Lagos youth. The extortion mindset that every rich person is mandated to bless the streets from island to mainland. Okay, this says, of course, there is fire on the mountain, but let us all face some people don't want to work. That's begging. profit them sometimes. The guy screaming with passion is holding an iPhone. The one over. That is their stunts to enable them cash out. Okay, interesting. This other user says, sorry, this is not begging, intimidation, and thuggery. When you beg and someone refuses to give or doesn't have to give, you calmly move to another. But these are ready and destroy your car, hold you to ransom till you are forced to pay. It is not begging. Interesting. This other user says, Nigeria is hard, but that's an excuse for a man to go out to the street to beg. We are going through a lot, but we are tugging it. Some of these boys in the street are not begging to feed themselves or family, but to buy. Okay. This other user also says, it's really an eyesore. Some people will start more aggressive than this. Let's compare stats. Okay, that is for that. And also another trending story on it we saw where Kata Efe and David together, where Kata Efe was in Davido's private jet, and Davido says he's going to dash Kata Efe one of his unreleased songs where he can make over $1 million from it. And this particular video, I mean, there are lots of videos on about concerning Kata Efe and Davido yesterday where they were live, and I mean awesome videos, but take a look at this particular video because it's just difference.
Jesus Christ, but daddy, we expect that song. Go. What I give you? I'll give you another. Daddy, daddy, it's you. I trust daddy to give daddy. I'll give you. After we don't finish the Korea day, I'll give you. We'll do it for every drop up maybe before December or something. Jesus Christ, Jesus. Don't believe the video in the official. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So listen, we're gonna, after we stamp the passports, we're gonna get in the culinary, we're gonna go eat. I booked a restaurant out for us. In VI already. Ayo, there's no problem, let's just go eat from here. Jesus Christ. Let me call him.
Let's see what S user has to say concerning this video. This person said, Kolu, they fear make cat and no crash plane. Interesting. Okay. This is better than giving someone money, but I bet it is the worst project it will dash out, but still, at that, it should be grateful. Okay. Another user says, this will change his life. For those asking if it is possible to give Kata Efe a song, yes, but Marley did that for his friend. All royalties from the song went to him and he used to his family. Interesting. Okay. The user says Kata Efe just got the ultimate 30 BG upgrade from skit to an unreleased Davido joint that can print $1 million. Somebody pinch me. 2026 is not playing fair. Okay, that is for that. This other user says, look at Kata Efe and Kolu inside a $75 million private jet from Uber straight to the luxury aviation. The growth is insane. If Davido gives him that unreleased track, Kata might actually become an actual billionaire overnight. This is all we've got for you on TMI Socials this beautiful morning. I mean, there are lots of trending stories on social media, but this is all we'll be able to give to you this morning. Thank you all for joining our Lagos Network Studio, for joining our Benin Network Studio, and also Abuja Network Studio on this morning on ITV. I am Marcelina. Do have a beautiful day out there and stay safe.
Any longer.
This is ITV.
Certain